All right, now we are down to our third training video, and this time we are going to know how to conduct an ET class using our new system. Okay, so guys, I don't know if you can still, of course, yes, you can still remember this because this is currently what we are doing. What we are doing is we have a file like this one, ET, ET class. Okay, ET, new ET report. What we are actually doing is we have a file like this, and this is where we write everything that we teach our students, we talk to our students, right? A lot of you actually said that this file is actually quite complicated because there's like a lot of things in there. Sometimes it can actually also be so confusing, right? So good thing now we don't need to use this one. I guess that's a major relief for all of us, right? Including me, I guess. What we're actually now going to do is just to click the ET student here. Of course, it's going to ask me to do the BSR, but rest assured that we don't need to click on this one anymore because we have only one system now that we can actually go. Okay, we don't need to click this one. We don't need to go through this one, but just, yeah, stay tuned because I'm going to explain this to you all. Okay. All right. What is this? Okay. Let me close it first. Okay. Okay. So we are now going to have an ET class with a student. We are on the ET or on this student file already. Okay. So as what I said before, all we just have to do is just to click this button, teaching plan. It will direct us to this page. So as you can see, since this is an ET student, he already has a pre-configured ET plan already, or a class plan for the student. So all the time it's about the barbecue, it's about an article on health you read on magazine or the internet. That's what is being created in there already. Okay. So what we can do now is just to click the BSR. Okay. Click BSR. Okay. Not preview link, but BSR. Okay. Click the BSR, and then it will open a new tab, and the new tab is actually where we will do the class to the student. So everything is actually also put in order, just like how we were doing in our ET class before, right? So of course, we get to know the student, we ask their level or target. So let's say, for example, the student's level is 5.0. Maybe that's the student's score from his last exam or her last exam. And his target now is, let's say, 6.0. Most commonly, it is always like that, right? And we are going to put when will be the examination date of the student, right? It starts from 1970, but we can actually just type the year. So it's 2021 now. Click enter. And let's say the student is going to have his exam this coming August 1st. Yep, August 1st. Okay, there we go. And then we're just going to ask the student if what is his what he or she is doing now. So let's say, for example, he is a college. His major is architecture. Yeah, and he is, I don't know, a fourth year senior student. Yeah. Um, and yeah, okay, architecture should be here, but that's okay. I mean, you're the only one who can see this, so there's no need to be so keen on it. Okay, so it's senior. Okay, what else? I think that's all. You can ask the student if where he or she is going. Maybe she's actually going to UK for masters. Yeah. And will this be the student's first time, or how many times did the student took the lessons or took the exam already? So let's say, for example, this is the third time that the student will take this exam. Okay. If you will notice, I actually also have a timer here. It actually started for like 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 minutes actually. Yeah. And as much as possible, I really have to finish this part within 2 minutes, or else this timer will actually remind me to do so, right? So yeah, that's it. So we are still under student information. Okay, this is very important. The next step that I am actually going to tell you is the most important thing, guys. Okay, because before you move into another part here, before you start discussing this part, you really need to make sure that you click the save button. Save button. Okay, don't forget about it. Okay, you wait for that thing to appear, right? Yeah, save button. Okay. And then after that, if you will notice or if you can remember, this is now the part that we're going to explain the three parts of the exam, right? Like what are they going to do to answer part one questions? Yeah, like what they are also going to do when it comes to part two and of course part three. This is like a brief introduction of what the speaking test is all about, right? If you will notice before, we actually have those kind of things that we teach them how to answer part one questions. But since that we only have 1 minute here, so we don't need to focus more into this one anymore. Okay, we can actually teach the student on how to answer each parts if we are already in the normal class. Okay, yeah. All right, remember that. Okay, yeah. You see here, there is a countdown, so we are already 1 minute. We only have 1 minute. Okay. So next to that is already our mock test. There's nothing to save here because we did not write anything, right? So let's just move on to the mini mock test. Okay. Of course, this is also the part that we are already so used to, right? Yeah. So instead of focusing or asking questions to student, right? What we actually do is we actually go here, answer method and correction. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we actually go to answer method and correction, right? Because this is the part where we ask students the questions. Yeah. So from part one, okay, so as what we were doing before, we are only like asking, I don't know for you guys, but normally I only ask like two questions in part one. Okay. So you can either just choose from the four questions here. Okay. So again, this is the topic. All right. Yeah. So again, guys, this is the topic. It's a barbecue, and all the questions can actually be found here. Okay? So all we just have to do is just to click this arrow, this button, and the menu will appear, and this is where we can see all the questions. So each time the student will answer something, he will actually just put here as well. Okay? Yeah, all the corrections, also the suggestions are all being put here. If we want to color this or highlight this, we can also make use of this one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it should supposed to be working. I don't know for some reason it's not, but it should be working. I've tried this so many times, so there shouldn't supposed to be no problems with it. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, and then as what I said before, if you have written something, make sure you save it. Okay. So let's say, for example, we're done with this question. Now we'll have to move on to the next question. But before we do that, we need to click on the save button. Again, click the save button before we go to another topic. I need to finish this, guys, because we need to create the BSR. Okay. So we need to save this, okay, and then move on to another question, okay. Yeah, these questions here, these things here, sorry, are all just suggestions. Yeah, it's all part of the teaching material, right? Okay, so all you just have to do is just to save it, okay. Yeah, put again the corrections and the suggestions here and then save and then move on to the next topic. Okay, so after part one, of course, you'll have to go to your part two. So here's the part two. Did I click part two already? Okay. All right. There's the part two. Sorry. Okay, guys. So here we already have a timer, right? Yeah, for the preparation, that's a minute, and for the time that the student is actually giving the answer, that's of course 2 minutes. So we can make use of the timer, or of course we can still make use of our own timer here as well, right? So okay, and then that's it. Yeah, while we are still listening to the student, all we have to do is just to take note all the suggestions and corrections as the student gives his or her answer. Okay, it's still the same. And again, once we're done with that, click on the save button and then move on to your part three. Okay. Again, this is the part that we are still turning on the camera. Okay, this is the mock test part. Okay, and we are sharing, by the way, our whole computer, and so that the student will be able to see this. So again, guys, just try to avoid some irrelevant websites, just like, for example, this one, Shopee. Okay, of course, we have to avoid those kind of websites, whether we are having a class or not. Yeah, it's not a good thing. Okay, but anyway. So let's say, for example, we're done with the mock test. Thank you very much. That's what all the mock test is. That's the end of it, right? So this is the mini mock test. You remember? Okay. Yeah. But before we end our part three, again, we have to save this page. Okay. We have to save this page. We either click this one here or we click this one here. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we're done with the mini mock test, right? Now we'll have to move on to our BSR, okay? This time you can actually also like, I don't know, if you want to, you can also like explain this to your student, but for me, I don't usually do this. I actually focus more on the band score and overall feedback, right? What I actually do is I just go to my previous topic, or sorry, to my previous ET report, and I just copy the things that I want to talk to my student. So just like for example here, this is this is fluency and coherence. What I'm actually just going to do is under fluency and coherence, I'm just going to copy and paste this here. You have your fluency and coherence already, right? If you want to extend this part, you can click this mini computer thing here. Yeah, and you see, it's all there now, right? Yeah, minimize it again, click this computer thingy here, and then it will go down to this one, right? Again, under lexical resource, you can copy this one, or I don't know, maybe you can type it on your own and then just paste it there, okay? If you want to explain it to your student, you can actually like click the computer button again, and then here you go, okay? Yeah, and again, please save it, okay? Save it. And look at this one. This is the part where you can give the suggestions to your students as well, okay? So you can say focus more on your grammar. Hey, what's going on? Okay, focus more on your grammar or on your grammar. Okay, yeah. Pay attention to the tenses of the verb. Okay, yeah, and all those kind of suggestions that you may want to give to your student. Okay, yeah. Again, guys, okay, we have to complete the BSR, right? Before the end of the class. Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, I think we're done with all of this, right? So after band score and overall feedback, of course, that's the time that we are going to explain the mistakes of the student or the suggestions that we can give to the student, right? Yeah. And then after that, of course, that's the end of our ET class to the student, right? Okay, now for us teachers, right, the most important thing, of course, for an ET student is that, or for an ET class, is that we get to finish the BSR report. This is now our BSR report, okay? So what we usually do is just to click this one here, Okay, let's say for example the score that we will give to the student is 5. Okay, so we give 5 to the student by clicking the appropriate boxes. Okay, for idiomatic expressions, of course, this student is expected that he is not so good in giving idiomatic expressions, so let's just put it none. Here is also 5, and for pronunciation, let's also try giving him 5 as well, or 6. Yeah, well, what will actually come out will still be 5. Yeah, here, look at this. Okay, so let's say for example we're done with all of this. Okay, we're done with the BSR and everything. We're done with the class. We're done with all the corrections. Okay, we already have said thank you and goodbye to the student. So the next step that we are going to do first is that we click save. Okay, this is very important, guys. Okay, very, very important. Okay, we click save, and then since we're done with the BSR, we're going to click the submit button. Okay, I'm going to click the submit button. Band score and overall feedback hasn't been finished. Why? Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Did I miss something? Band score and BSR. Okay. Yeah, let's say we said something here. Okay, and then we save it. Okay. And then now let's try going to submit button. Okay, again. Hasn't been, well, at least. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, because we have not finished this one yet. Okay. Let's move on to part 3. Okay. Let's say this is our correction. Okay, and save it. Okay, let's try again. Submit. Band score and overall report. I, I think I've done this already. Submit. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have already submitted our BSR. Yeah, we already have completed the class. Okay, so normally what we usually do, of course, we can close this. Yeah. Normally what we usually do is we make sure that we complete the BSR or we complete the class right after we're done with it. But if you will notice, after I have completed the BSR, the class was also completed automatically, right? I didn't do anything to it. It's now completed automatically. See that? So I guess that's much easier compared to how we were doing it before, right? Anyway, guys, if you still have some more questions, please feel free to contact me, send me a message, and do not ever hesitate to ask me questions. Okay? All right. I wish you to have a good night. Bye bye, guys.